morning. Morning, everyone. Everybody's having a good morning so far. A lot of people would say it's too early to tell. But that's okay. Trying to find the chat so I can see who's out there in YouTube land. Let's see if I can get it through that. Okay. All right, I think we got it. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
No.
You just said a while ago that you could.
You sound a lot better.
Well, that's good.
Messing with you. Yeah, you sounded fine. I was trying to get something done before the show started. That didn't really work.
I'm so happy that I sound better.
So people are asking if I got hit by storms and call me totally oblivious, but no.
No.
Search Huntsville weather. Apparently, we do have tornado threat today, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And in Birmingham, which is 100 miles to the south, we get different weather patterns up here, though. We're really not. We're kind of more Tennessee than we are Alabama, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, apparently Birmingham had something really bad. This was
was that from Cindy?
Yeah.
Or that tropical storm or whatever it was?
Storm bands from Cindy dropped a tornado just west of downtown Birmingham. Okay, there ain't a whole lot west end anyhow. That's why I was taking a look at the image. EF2. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some damage and
yeah.
It hit an express oil change at KFC and an ABC liquor store. So I hope everybody's okay. But yeah, I don't think we really. I mean, we had rain here yesterday.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is you know, just because your state is kind of in a emergency type situation as far as weather, doesn't mean that the whole state.
Yeah, and it's we get different weather patterns. But no, I knew that the Cindy thing was coming, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
So apparently today there's a potential for severe thunderstorms capable of producing isolated damaging winds, 50 to 60 miles per hour, and tornadoes. And our timeline is, where is Huntsville? I can't see that far. 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. or something. So
yeah. Well, and this time of the year, it's always a possibility. So they have to, pre-warn us or whatever. But a lot of times, nothing ever comes out of it either, So.
Well, and I think you kind of get used to that.
Yeah. Like when I first moved here, every dark cloud I thought was, like a tornado, because I just never had been into that kind of weather. And so it took me a while. What really helped me is going to it was a storm spotter class, and basically taught me, what to look for in a tornado, rotation, things like that. And so I felt a little more, I guess, empowered, not to be,
freaked out. Yeah.
You'd be cautious, but you don't have to be scared of the weather.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like tornadoes here. I mean, you don't go out and or severe thunderstorms. You don't go out and find the longest metal pole you can and stand in the front yard, to act as a lightning rod. But at the same time, you just kind of keep going about your day.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in a house like this that has a lot of windows, I mean, you'd hear it if it picked up. You'd hear tornado sirens. I usually keep an eye on Twitter. People use Twitter here a lot. So there's some hashtags, like weather hashtags specific to this area that people tend to use a lot. So, and just keep an eye on whatever's happening to the west of you if the patterns are coming from that way, and just be smart,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, be smart and have your backup emergency plan, as the weatherman says. Have it in place. So if something does happen, you know where you're going to go.
Right.
Which for me is about 5 feet that direction and down 8 stairs,
Yep. Well, what was it, last Friday? I was actually, because my closet is like the most inner room in our house.
Right.
And that was the first time I'd ever done it. But I actually sat in the closet just to be on the safe side, because the winds were just the winds were crazy, and so I just thought.
And it doesn't hurt anything. I mean, we had an in-ground storm shelter at our old house, and occasionally we'd get in it or whatever if we felt like we needed to. And in the worst case, I mean, you don't come out like feeling stupid. You come out feeling like, okay, no big deal. At least I was proactive.
Yeah. Of course, I had the dogs. I was trying to keep the dogs in that area, and of course, they didn't want to cooperate. So, but I know that Mike would have been he would have been hounding me over that, because he just never really took it seriously, But I just felt like I needed to do that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Be a little proactive.
I mean, I didn't see any. If it was bad here, I couldn't see anything. And I mean, I was sitting in front of a giant plate glass window watching a movie or whatever with Tristan until, I don't know, 10, I guess, probably. We went to bed kind of early. I had to move
that's good.
I had to move a bunk bed yesterday. Our friend of ours wanted to mention something about, well, I can't go into too much detail, but anyhow, mention something about a bunk bed, and I said, wow, Gabe's got a bunk bed he wants to get rid of. Really? So I showed it to him. The only problem is it has to be completely disassembled, because it has to be on these really narrow stairs right back there that are from the 1920s, which actually go up 4 steps that way and then turn and go back up that way. And they're really narrow, and there's a landing about this big, so you have to take out, I can't remember if I've told this story or not, stop me if I have, but there's this board that goes into my closet that's like a bookshelf, but it's creates where you can bring long stuff down. So stuff actually comes down to the landing. You take this board down, it goes into a hole in my closet and then comes back out.
Oh, so wow.
It's a major ordeal. And then he's swapping bedrooms with his sister, and so we got to clean all his stuff out. And I hate cats because they just, I mean, there's no amount of, I don't care what a good housekeeper you are, but the kids have had those cats for like 15 years. Seriously, we have like a 16-year-old cat. I didn't even know they live that long. And, and there's cat fur everywhere. And I grew up with allergies. I had allergy shots once a week as a kid for about 3 or 4 years. And 2 of the major things were cats. And I think it was like horses. It was something stupid. It's not a big deal. I can live with them in the house. It doesn't bother me. Just don't get my hands on anything that's cat furry and then get my hands near my face like that. And that's where it becomes a problem.
Right.
So, of course, inevitably you don't really think about it. You're moving something and you rub the sweat like that off your face or whatever. And, so, I mean, it wasn't bad. I'll survive. Yeah. It just really was not on my list of things to do. But the good thing is I sold it, and we were going to have to sell it anyhow because he's been talking for a long time. So I sold it to a friend for probably a little more than I would have gotten. But, so, I mean, I came out really good on the deal. I pretty much got what we paid for the bunk bed about 4 years ago when we bought it used, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's done. And then, of course, I had to, help him load it in his van, and told him I would help him set it back. Because it's one of these where everything's put together with a bolt with an Allen wrench.
Right.
A hex key thing. So it's one of those that it's like if you've taken it down, you might as well just put it back up yourself, because the other person, it'll take them 3 hours to figure out how.
Right.
So, of course, then it's a bunk bed with a full futon on bottom that makes into a bed or a couch, and then a twin up top. And so, of course, having cats, the futon cover needed to be washed and yada yada yada. And so pretty much that was for about 4 hours of my day, 4 or 5 hours of my day yesterday, between that and like kind of cleaning his room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
At least you got it done.
Yeah, and Tristan was still off. She was off helping a friend, so
it was all you.
Yep. And we had kind of already put it off a couple of days because he needed the bed. So I couldn't really wait forever. I couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah.
Now, if y'all want to know what's happening with weather in my area, go to Twitter and look at hashtag ValleyWX, which stands for Tennessee Valley Weather.
Okay.
That's how it's honestly, there's a lot of, I don't use Twitter. I mean, I'm on Twitter. I don't use it much anymore. It's kind of, it depends on where you live. Twitter is more of a techie thing. Instagram kind of became the more trendy thing. But we have a lot of people, weather spotters and stuff, that still use it.
Yeah, I'm not too much into either. I mean, I'm signed up on both, but
honestly, I only use Twitter when the weather's bad. The last time I tweeted was, I don't even know how to do this from a desktop. Where are my tweets is?
Morning, Scott.
Last time I
rain is the dusty forecast.
Last time I tweeted was from Key West.
Oh wow!
Like a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not into those.
Twitter.
Facebook.
Well,
Facebook is not all that I go.
We live in a really techie town, and so like at one point in time when we first moved here, I think a lot of people that we kind of hung out with or went to church with the church we were going to at the time were very techy, and so maybe it was just used more with them. I don't know.
Oh. Tim says he has a label question for anyone who sold on Bonanza. I've sold on Bonanza, but it's been quite a while ago. Probably about, I don't know, maybe 6-8 months ago. But yeah, shoot. I'll see if I can help you out with it. Oh, and Beth said that so we'll just answer it all together. I had to use an entire sheet to get one label versus getting 2 labels for eBay. You should be able to, like, decrease it in size. But actually, no, that is the way that they have their labels come out. That they come out a lot larger, and I don't know why that is. There may be a setting in there or something where you can shrink it, but Beth says I buy my postage on for Bonanza on PayPal because she believes Bonanza charges extra. Well, that's a very good possibility.
The extent of my knowledge of Bonanza is I ate at a steakhouse called Bonanza when I was a kid. I'm no help.
Yeah, it's they charge 40 cents more. I found that out after the fact. Wow. I mean, I think
Not grumpy, Sherry. You're grumpy. Stupid.
I think Bonanza has a good. I think it would do, and they would have an awesome business. You know, they tried to mirror basically after eBay, but they've got a lot of work to do to even get close. You know, their customer service is crap, and then they've got fees built into fees, and nobody wants that. Nobody has time for that.
Anybody got time for all that?
That's right. So, and it was funny because I think it was so I've signed up with them 3 times, and I have canceled with them 3 times because I just got very frustrated with them. And I was like, that's it. I'm not going back. But just didn't really have a good. Which is better, Bonanza or Etsy? Well, Etsy is like for, that's a bigger platform, but
Etsy's just for vintage and handmade, right?
It is vintage, handmade, or supplies. Anything that you can use for a supplies for a craft or whatever. But yeah, it has to be vintage or handmade. And I think it's a pretty good platform. But then again, you have to do, I don't know, you have to like things like different closets or whatever, and share that information, and that's a little bit too much for me. I'd rather spend my time listing than doing all that extra stuff. But Beth says I don't do Etsy simply because I don't have a professional photography studio going on here. And it seems like you have to have spot on photos. I don't think so. I mean, you have to have good photos. Like, I would say your eBay photos and your Etsy photos, you should be able to use them the same,
Oh.
I don't know. I could be wrong there. I know Etsy is a little more particular, so that could be a very good possibility. The Etsy photos I see are all staged with props and etc. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't really. I'm trying to think of all the things that I've seen on Etsy before, and I don't really remember a lot of props and it being all staged and pretty and just a regular photo. But they may have changed that. Good morning, Silver Hair Stacker. Good morning, fantastic flippers of finds. Oh, Elvis and Roscoe are at it. There's probably somebody walking on their road.
Roscoe the Go Train. Manage recurring payments.
Oh my gosh.
Aha. Sorry, I'm having to do MasterCard. PayPal.
Okay, I'm back. Please tell me this is No Pants Friday. Sorry, Mr. Sadie. It's not. That's a rare occasion.
Don't tempt me.
And today is not the day. Oh,
my Lord. So I was hoping that Jason and Eric would wake up. I caught confirm email address. I caught a little bit of them yesterday with Jason's big storage unit thing, but I don't want to say too much and steal his thunder, but it's pretty awesome. Please enter valid zip code. What the hell?
Oh.
Please enter a valid phone number. My damn phone number's right there.
Yeah, Megan says people are getting all artsy with their photos, but she said there's nothing wrong with the plain background. Yeah, Megan says also, speaking of Etsy, has anyone found a way to check solds? I don't think there is a way to check on that.
There used to be something, but you could go in and check like the code on the actual web page, or I have no idea. I ain't gonna lie, I don't pay enough attention.
And I've always wanted, and I've always thought about having a another avenue, such as Amazon or Bonanza, or I've always wanted that other platform to sell on just in case, something happens. And so I don't know. But I haven't really found I haven't found that place yet. And I don't know that it'll ever exist, but yes, Mother's mustache. She was trying to help me with getting my headphones connected yesterday, and so we got it done. To tell you the truth, I don't even know how I did it, but I did it. So just everything worked out. I knew that they worked because I had I was listening to a video, and what was cool about it was I was walking around the house and I could still hear the video, which I love. But I could, for some reason, the microphone wouldn't work on it. So I had to go into the settings and fiddle with that to get that to work. And so I went on a second time to do just a test, and they it worked. So
what are they? Are those the Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Or wireless or Bluetooth, or which one?
They're wireless and Bluetooth. They have a little Bluetooth dongle.
Dongle. Sorry.
I love that word.
Dongle. That's like our 12-year-old humor word around this house. Dongle.
But I think it's really awesome. Flipper tools. What is Flipper tools?
Oh.
Flippertool.com works.
I think that has a lot of different tools on it that you can do different stuff with.
Oh, okay. Tim says eBay sneaker deals.
Yeah, Flipper tools. I Googled it, and there's a thing called "What did it sell for" on Etsy, and apparently, if you click on that, you can copy and paste the Etsy URL into there, and it'll tell you what it sold for.
Awesome. That's cool.
So there you go. Now you know.
Yeah, I'm still in the process of looking for that other platform, because I really do want something like that. But I guess another option would be to, but I really don't want to do it. Set up my own website, because I know that that's a lot of work, and it's a lot of you got to get the traffic. So you got to advertise, and there's a lot to it. So I don't know. I'm still looking.
What's up?
Hey, Miss Tara.
How you doing, Valerie?
I'm doing wonderful.
Well, you could find another platform to sell on that works as good as eBay. Let me know.
Yeah.
I haven't found it yet, so
it doesn't exist. I don't think.
Not yet. Not that there are
best
people that do good on other platforms. It's just not me, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what you sell. I mean, I've heard of people, I'm doing great on, and they sell vintage jewelry or handmade stuff or whatever. But I think for the average, I don't know, we've been down this rabbit hole before. I ain't going down it again. But, for the average person just selling whatever, just concentrate on eBay. There's such an audience there.
Yeah.
Unless you're really, really specialized, it's not really.
And if it's the stuff they're looking for, they're gonna come and find you on eBay. So.
Right.
Jim, he's awake.
Yeah, but let's say
You have a big red spot on your head from sleeping on your hand.
Let's say just for instance, your account suspended on eBay. Then Etsy starts to look really good.
Yeah, I don't know. Still, I'm not crafty or that, so I didn't see Etsy working for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something to keep my eyes open for. And, like Beth, she says, have you tried Mercari? And, I've sold a couple of things on there, but I don't think I really gave it a good, college try type of thing. So,
is Mercari one of those phone app selling sites?
I think so.
Yeah, and this is gonna make me sound really ignorant, but I don't use phone app selling sites because I don't sell off my phone. And I'm not saying I'm right, but I just don't do it.
Yeah.
Well, somebody asked one day why like the only time I use my phone is if I need to take close-ups, like all the Pandora beads we had. My phone will take really, really good close-up photos, even with the macro setting on my little camera. I still can't get that good a close-up. So I'll take all the pictures of the beads. I'll do them in groups of 10. Take 4 pictures of each bead, so it's 40 pictures. I'll transfer them over to my computer, and then I'll do it from here. And a couple people had asked, why don't you use your phone? I can navigate around a desktop computer with 6 tabs open.
Yeah.
Literally so much faster than I can do. And then I have templates that I insert, which I'm sure you can find a way to insert them and cut and paste.
I mean, even just the typing part, me trying to type on, your smartphone little keyboard thing, it's just so easy for me to sit at a traditional keyboard and knock this stuff out. I can list it very fast.
I mean, by the time I take pictures of 10 beads, if I'm doing sell similar and just changing the title, literally by the time I sit back down my computer to make 10 listings of 10 different beads would probably take me 4 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know of anybody that can breeze through like that, And then somebody said, well, why don't you create drafts? Well, I mean, by the time I search, and I do a lot of sell similar, by the time I do all that for my phone and create that, I mean, I could have been done over here. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't create drafts either. I just sit down and list it right away. But that's just my way of doing it. And the one thing about Mercari, maybe it works better in the middle of nowhere. So it's like being in Canada or Alaska or something in the woods. I mean, those sites don't work where I'm at very well. Especially if it's a local pickup thing. It's like offer up or let go. It's just not a good platform for us.
Yeah, pickup, you got to be there at a certain time. I mean, there's a lot of, they do take up time. I mean, they can mess up your day. I mean, doing the local pickup.
Right. Yeah, if they're not there when they're supposed to be, and yeah, it definitely can. But
you like the chit chat?
Oh yes, that's the bad one. When they want to chit chat or what else do you have for sale? And they want the tour or whatever. We get that a lot when we'd have local pickup on snowmobiles and stuff. What else do you got? Oh, you got that, or wow.
You care if I come in your living room and look?
If somebody said that to me, I'd yes.
I can see Jim waiting at the local Chuck E. Cheese for a pickup of a hog spreader or something.
No, we don't have a Chuck E. Cheese.
We had a Chuck E. Cheese.
No, it happens in our backyard. They come to our house. We had one. We just sold a tennis ball machine. The guy drove up from Chicago and came and picked it up. So we just had one yesterday or the day before. But it depends what we get.
Yeah, it's a 4-hour drive. We drove 4 hours up to get it. And turned right around 4 hours to go home. Never been here before.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Guy's a man that's serious about his balls, I guess.
Yeah. And then I go, hey, how was your bike ride today? And he looks at me kind of funny. He's like, well, yeah, it was a pretty good ride. And then I could tell he's confused, how the hell I knew he was riding a bike. He was wearing shorts, and on his calf, there was a half moon thing from the grease from his sprocket. He must have leaned up against his leg because he's looking at me like I'm psychic or something. I go, yeah, you got a grease mark on your calf. He's like, oh, okay. And they still think it's kind of weird. Like, why are you looking at my calf?
Yeah, that's more weird.
I thought you were gonna say he's wearing those real short, like elastic bicycle.
No. Wasn't
He's a 28-year-old hipster, you know, upward professional.
He was wearing that like one of those swimsuits like Bruno.
Oh gosh.
What was he picking up?
It's like a big slingshot.
Oh. Okay.
No, he's probably watching this. Oh my god. I'm never buying a tennis ball shooter from this guy again.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how good looking was he, Jim?
I don't rate dudes. Oh, except for Thor and Matthew McConaughey before Dallas Buyers Club. Pre-Dallas Buyers Club, Matthew McConaughey and that guy who plays Thor. Yeah, I mean, not that I'm like into those guys, but I can tell I got something I definitely don't have.
McConaughey in the Lincoln commercials because he just looks crazy now.
Yeah, I like Matthew McConaughey's personality. He's definitely got that way out there crazy personality. But when he was getting voted sexiest man alive, he had a little fuller face. You know what? He lost all that weight for that Dallas Buyers Club, and his face never really came back. He's got like that real gaunt look, which I'm not a same-sex person, but I can tell when your face looks like Skeletor or something. It's not.
You're over-explaining your gayness.
You're about to out yourself if you're not careful.
Oh boy!
And
this one time in a bar parking lot.
And then I woke up and I had this giant red mark on my forehead.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How late did you stay up last night listing computers?
2 o'clock.
Really?
Oh man, Dusty, I followed your advice on those computers. Well, it wasn't really your advice; it was just something you said that stuck with me. You said you're going to scrap them, and at first I had no intention of scrapping them. But yeah, for $400, that was the value of the memory by itself. Plus, then you had the processors, you had the board, you got
the boards,
a whole bunch of others.
And those, I'm not sure about the rack server kind. They may have the removable power supply or the fan.
Already listed.
Hey, sometimes here's my deal. You don't mind shipping big stuff. Sometimes with servers, if I can get a little more, parting it out, it's a whole lot easier to ship several medium or lightweight things versus a big old server piece. And you can get a lot more money sometimes that way too.
And within 2 minutes of listing the hard drives I list first? No, I memory sticks first. I got a message. How much for all of them? Oh, and then that was like, would you take? I got them up there for $45 a piece, and they offered me $20 a piece. I'm like, no. And then they came up.
How many sticks?
All of them.
How many is that?
They're 14.
32.
Oh.
You turned out $640.
Yeah.
Did you counter?
No, I just said no. I can't do it. They countered. Then they came up to 30, and I still turned it down.
Dude,
it was too far off market.
How much did you pay for all of them?
$250.
But you're shipping it all to one person in one transaction, one shipping transaction, and you're done. That's the way I would have looked at it.
Yeah, I thought about that.
You should go back. You should go back and be like, I'm really sorry I changed my mind.
I'm kind of like Jim. I do the same fucking thing sometimes.
I mean, go message him back and be like, hey, I can do 32.
Oh, no, wait, though. They're not the only one. Then I listed the hard drives. There's 2 500 gigabyte hard drives. I'm like, well, who's buying 500 gigabyte hard drives? They're crap now. Well, for this server, actually, it did well. And then some guy offered to buy all the hard drives. I'm like, no.
I had a guy buy 8 hard drives yesterday. He specifically wanted to know if the serial number started with a certain 3 digits and if the firmware version was a certain version or whatever. And I messaged him back and yeah, it is, blah, blah, blah. Except for this one, which the serial number starts with a different 3. And he goes, that's okay, it'll work. And then bought all 8 of them.
Wow.
So apparently that, makes a whole lot of difference with.
Yeah, but did he pay full price?
Yeah, he actually did. Well, they were on sale, and then I had a sale running like extra 10% off if you spend over $20. So he got those discounts, but yeah, he didn't make an offer. He just bought them.
Huh. I was going to say, nothing in your store is full price. You're always running a sale.
Truth.
But that's cool. Very cool.
Yeah, with Jim, if you want to play, you got to pay.
Hey, Jim. Do you guys ever like take a break over there?
What?
Do you guys ever take a break? Or you said you were listening till like 2 a.m.
Well, we were out on the boat last week Thursday.
Yeah, there was a day we took a break. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. You don't have to take a break. I was just curious.
No, we don't. I mean, we're 24-hour party people. I mean, we go at. I mean, from when the time we get up, unless our kid needs something or whatever, yeah, it's just if there's stuff to do for eBay, we just do it. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 11 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock in the morning.
I listed myself till about 10:30, and he's doing the computer stuff because he knows more about it.
If you didn't love this, that's one thing for people get confused. It's like, oh, this is so much work. Well, if you don't love it, it'll never be the right job for you. I mean, it's like bartending. When I loved it, it was the best job in the world. When I started to not like bartending, it quickly turns into the worst job in the world because it's like, it makes it hard to function during the day and stuff because you're up all night, working. Because when everybody leaves the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're like, oh, yeah, I had such a great time. Well, they're not even thinking at that time, they're stoned. But when they leave the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning, my job's really starting because I'm going to be an hour and a half shutting down that bar. I got to, do the garbage cans, check the bathrooms, make sure nobody left the lit cigarette butt in one of the bathroom garbage cans. I got to wipe down all the countertops. They had a cleaner that came in the morning. But I mean, you had to restock the coolers. I mean, I'd be there a good hour and a half after the bar closed. So I'm not getting out of there till 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's like most food type of businesses, beverage, whatever. You're always there a couple hours after close to do stuff.
Yeah, so I mean when you decide you don't want to do that job anymore, then that really becomes a burden, So,
right.
Like eBay. You got to really love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you don't love it, you'll just hate it, and then what happens then?
There's not a whole. If you don't love it, that was very profound. If you don't love it, you'll just hate it, and then what happens then?
Hey, I'm off to sleep, okay?
Didn't you sell everything on Etsy? Didn't you sell everything on Etsy and Bonanza?
I've never had a job that if someone said it's for the money because you got to pay bills. But I mean, I never had a job where if somebody said, "Hey, you're not going to be able to do this anymore. You're going to have to do something different," I would be upset. Not just because, oh my gosh, I got to go find something else to do for money. It's like, I really like doing that. You mean I can't do that anymore? To me, that would be just soul crushing. I just love it. Every aspect of it. I think that's one of the keys to being good in this business is you really got to love it.
I don't know about you, but I couldn't work for anyone else now. I'm broken.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. If somebody told me, yeah, you're going to have to punch a clock and answer to somebody, I'd be like, oh my, it would be the worst thing ever.
Jim, clean up on aisle 3.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, if you're in a jam in this business, it's like, hey, wow, like last night, I just want to get these huge servers out of my living room. But I mean, let's say, if I was in a financial jam, like that person with that offer, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna take this grand or whatever, and move along and pay this down or whatever. If you're working a 9 to 5 punching a clock, like I said before, you can't go up to your boss and say, hey boss, I'm really strapped, can I get next week's and the week after's pay today? Like how many times would your boss let you do, even if you had a super cool boss and they did it once, they would not do that over and over. And with eBay, you can do that over and over.
Yep.
It's that stuff that's been on your death pile, hammer it out and give yourself a big financial boost. Punching a clock, you can never do that. And I realize and I'm not talking down to people who punch a clock. I did it for a long time too.
Yeah,
but
everyone has.
It is when I was in real estate, I couldn't just say, okay, I better go sell some houses today. That's not how it works. When you're lucky enough to have a buyer that's gonna, the right person at the right time to buy the house, that's great. But you can't like say, well, today I'm gonna push somebody into buying a property. I'm gonna pay these bills. It doesn't work like it does on eBay. I mean,
no.
eBay is a great place for instant cash. The smarter you get, and you put a little extra effort into it. So that's the end of that sermon. Sorry.
For me, the only thing I wish is that like I was 10 years younger. Now that I know so much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, who doesn't?
All those years of knowledge.
Oh man, if I could redo high school, oh man, I would have been a player.
Gary, you hear this?
Yeah, I was a babe in the woods. Oh man, looking back, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. Right?
I just wish I'd have figured a lot of stuff out earlier.
Yeah,
exactly like that. I wasn't necessarily cut out to work for somebody else, and I should have known that, because right out of high school I started delivering produce and stuff, buying it from the farmer's market, buying truckloads of stuff, and kind of had my own little mini business going. I mean, it was seriously like I bought one of these receipt books from, you know, like wherever, that has a little carbon page in it. I mean, that was the extent of my business. And I had some stamps made up, and I would stamp the top of each receipt, because back then I don't think, like, it was early 90s. I mean, like places like Vistaprint weren't really around yet to do business cards or whatever. So I had little rubber stamps made up, and I just stamped my name. It was like Dusty's Produce or what, I don't even remember. But, you know, and I stuck with that for a while and then discovered other stuff. And I don't know, I wish I'd have figured out stuff sooner, though. But I don't regret any of the times of going back to work for somebody else, because all it really did was just kind of, for me, hammer home that, like, I don't need to work for somebody else, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you do pick up some knowledge of different businesses, you know, depending on what you're doing.
But I don't know how you guys grew up, or ladies, but when I grew up, you know, it was always hammered into me. Well, you better do this, because I remember I got my ear pierced when I was like 19 or something. My old man took one look at it. I'm like, oh boy, he's gonna give me a hard time. He just looked. He kind of shrugged his shoulder. He said, "Good luck getting a job with that," and walked away. Within an hour, I had that thing out of my ear.
My mom goes, "Oh, wait till your dad gets home." She goes, "I think it's cute." So we sit down at the dinner table. I'm like, I don't know, 19, just before I moved up, probably 17 or 18. And sits down. My dad goes, and I'm sitting like this the whole time. Finally, I move, and he goes, "What?" And my mom goes, "I think he looks really cute." My dad never said another word.
Well, my point is this, though. Everything for me growing up was like, well, you better do this to get a job. You know, you're going to need to go to college. You need to do that to get a job. Everything is circular. I mean, a lot of times as adults, people are telling their kids, you know, oh, no, you got to do this. You got to go work for somebody else. Go get training so you can work for somebody else. Watch TV commercials. Oh, good. Go to the whatever institute. Then you can get a job. Then you can go to college.
Got to go to college.
There's not many. What's that?
Got to go to college. Right.
See, that was also in a different day and age where, I mean, there weren't as many opportunities. Things were less digital. There weren't as many opportunities. Entrepreneurism was, I mean, it's been around forever, but it wasn't as widespread. I mean, you didn't have things like eBay. You didn't have things like places where you could make a living, whatever. You know, if you wanted to make a living reselling back then, you set up at a flea market every weekend, or got an antique booth, or open your own little antique store, or did something like that. There wasn't all the rest of that. So it wasn't as easy. It wasn't as common. So I think all of our parents, you know, of course, they were an older generation, you know, well, you have to go to college. You have to go to college. And that's really just not even, Lord, we could spend an hour on this one. It's not even a prerequisite for success anymore.
No. You know? And the market's so flooded with college grads.
Yeah, college grads that get out of college and they go like, well, what's your major? Oh, I majored in business education. I don't know. I don't even think that's a degree, but I just made something up. But, you know, and then you ask them after they've gone to school for 4 years, well, what are you going to do? I don't know. I guess I'm going to look for a job. And it's like, really? Or you could have spent those 4 years, and this doesn't apply to everybody, so before everybody starts hating, but, you know, or they could have spent those 4 years in college actually figuring out what they wanted to do, working a job somewhere, and probably working their way up and making kick-ass money. And instead, they get out of college with a generic degree and they go work flipping hamburgers for $9 an hour. I mean, unless it's something very specialized, yeah, there are exceptions to that. And there are kids that, you know, apprentice their way through college that are a little more serious. And obviously, if you want to be an engineer or a doctor or whatever, yeah, you need a degree. But I mean, I've seen more kids wind up out of college with just a generic degree. You know, with girls, it's always, I want education. I want to be a school teacher. And that lasts for like a month, you know.
Well, you know why you send your daughter to college?
Oh, don't you say that.
Well, it is. I mean,
it is not.
No, it's not why it's not why the female wants to go to college. But I can tell you in the back of their parents' heads, it's like if we send Julie to college, she's going to meet a college guy who's going to have a job instead of staying around our town. And you know, in the old days, it was a gas station attendant. They don't even have those anymore. But, you know, a guy who's staying around town with a job that's not going to go anywhere. So when the daughter goes to school, they're like, good, you know, she's going to meet a guy in college that's going to make some money. And I mean, that is sexist, but it's It's honest. I mean, it is. I'm sure it's the way a lot of parents still think. They want their daughter to marry some guy who's successful.
Well, Hank Allen Cash said a lot of people go to college simply because they see it as what they're supposed to do. And Mother's Mustache said, I've never told my children that. My family has always been in business for themselves. Megan Carl said, yeah, my dad is still stuck in that mode. And then you have grandparents that, my parents personally, they wouldn't care. My dad's been an entrepreneur, everything else. He's seen our success. But you do have some older, like Tristan's dad's a little more like, you need to go to college and get a 4-year. I mean, he still tells that to Tristan.
My old man, for sure.
I don't know why you didn't go to college. Well, because she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Look at our kids, and they're amazing. I think they turned out really well. And she had a very rare, opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom. She wouldn't trade that for anything. That's what she wanted to do. So as entrepreneurs, we were able to make that work. And you're not going to argue. You're not going to convince somebody like that that's got it stuck in their head that, still that a 4-year degree is the only way. He tells her all the time, or used to, you should have got a job with the Social Security Administration. I mean, can you really see Tristan sitting behind a desk at the Social Security office? No.
Yeah.
I mean, she's such a fireball, she'd have the place decorated and be having fun. And, normally those people are a little more, cubicle type. I'm not a cubicle worker. She's not a cubicle worker, Yeah,
I had a degree. I had wound up with a double major, but one of them was public administration. And I looked at government public administration jobs. And yes, I could not sit and the starting pay was horrible. And when I got out of school, so not what I expected, I expected a better starting wage or whatever. And I wound up working for this shoe store chain because it paid double.
Our daughter,
so I probably would have done better. But I mean, at the time, I'm like, hey, I'll take the double pay.
Mr. Sadie said, I would suggest trade school, learn a specific trade and ace it. Our daughter wants to look at barbering school, not cosmetology school necessarily, but barbering. She's like, I don't want to deal with women. And I don't really blame her on that. I don't want to do the coloring and all that. She's like, I just want to cut hair. Men are a little more simple, whatever else. And if that's what she wants to do, she'll put her mind to it and she'll ace it. She'll nail it,
Yep.
And just for the record, as far as schooling goes, I kind of dropped out of high school, so I have absolutely zero education.
Jason, me and you have something in common. Because I was doing horses for a living, so you don't need an education.
You were what?
Yeah.
She was doing horses for a living.
That didn't sound
You know what? It just went to a different level.
I worked in training barns, showed horses, and then when I moved up here, I probably did about 10 or 12 years where I galloped racehorses at a training.
She was in Tijuana. She moved back to the States and, changed her career.
Do you have any videos on that?
I met this really nice midget in a bar in Tijuana. I didn't even go there today, just for the record.
Blame it on me. The only thing that I do have is I did take a year of business school. So just to, because I knew I always wanted to be in business. So that gave me like a little leg up. And it's funny, before you were talking about, before eBay, it was harder to be an entrepreneur and all that. And let me tell you, it really was. I was doing, with my father, mail order and making catalogs and sending them to people and advertising in the back of magazines and stuff. It was so much harder back then than it is today. It's ridiculous. Everyone here, you guys have it so easy with eBay, let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think the early years of eBay, when you hear people talk, oh yeah, the profits were so much better and there was so much, now it's getting harder and harder. I talked to people who dropped out of eBay like 5 years ago. They're like, oh, it was getting too hard. Well, it's because you switched from these people who it was such a struggle to all of a sudden eBay made it so much easier. Well, then you had a flood of people get on eBay. And there's so much more competition on eBay now.
Yeah, believe it or not, the mail order business actually, took a dive once eBay came out, because it turned things that were hard to get into things that were now common because so many people had them that threw them up for sale.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was watching Antiques Roadshow last night, and they were doing I think it was Oklahoma or Albuquerque or New Mexico, or I don't know, somewhere in the southwest-ish or west. And they were doing the comparison, that was from 2002, and they were doing the little, after they get done, they're like, the guy's like, here's what it's worth, $15,000. And then it says 2017, and it's like, if it went up, and it goes, if it went down. I don't know if y'all ever, anyhow, it'll tell you what it's worth now versus when they first filmed that show. And it was amazing to me. You know, markets constantly change with everything, but I do feel like even with collectibles and stuff like that, more and more people drag more and more stuff out of grandma's attic, and oh, it's eBay, we can put it there. I think it did hurt a lot of markets.
A model trains.
I was gonna say
like Lionel trains. I mean, that really affected the Lionel train market. I mean, or American Flyer. I mean, you took locomotives that were worth $600 and you dropped them to like $200 overnight. So if you took a guy's, because you got these guys with their whole basement is just lined with trains on these little shelves and stuff like that. They have, you know, tens of thousands of dollars worth of train inventory. I mean, if you drop that by 2/3, it hurts.
Yeah, well, the problem is,
it really,
as soon as you screw with the supply and demand, it's the classic supply and demand thing, really, is what it is. You know, all of a sudden the market gets flooded with this stuff. What happens? Price goes down. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, the real rare
stuff
will always command a premium, though. I'm sorry, Jim.
I said that when you were talking about how much, you know, the difference in education. Really, that if you can get your head around supply and demand, that's really all you need to know in business.
Yep. I remember the one thing that was drilled into my head in business school: location, location, location. That will never leave my head. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, and that location is the internet, the internet, the internet.
I know. It's
Who knew? God,
that used to be pounded into you.
Well, we sell most of our stuff. I would say, I mean, I guess we need to, there's some way to track it. We sell most of our stuff to the east, right and left coast. You know, California, New York, or in East Coast, the whole East Coast. That's where most of our stuff goes. So, I mean, how in Wisconsin we sell? I mean, my sales tax is ridiculous. How little I have to report for sales tax. We don't sell anything to Wisconsin. All of our stuff goes out of the state.
Blackberry Thistle T said, has anyone heard that eBay will now price match Amazon and Walmart on 50,000 items? I read that yesterday, but it's only items that are in the eBay daily deals or whatever, which you kind of have to get accepted into that. That's really huge volume sellers. My experience has been, it's been more, I don't think that's going to really affect a whole lot of markets.
And did you see what it takes to do that too? I mean, you got to actually call eBay customer service. It's very tedious. I mean, it's an advertising ploy. Most consumers are not going to go through all the hoops to get the stupid price match.
What about that other thing? The other day they were doing 20% off 40 selected sellers. Did you see that one? Yeah, I clicked on it, and it actually listed all 40 sellers, and anything you buy from them was 20% off.
Well, in order to qualify for that price matching thing, the item must be on one of the new unopened items sold daily through eBay deals for starters. Deals are eBay's selection of trending, in quotes, inventory across all its categories, like consumer electronics, home and garden, and fashion. The deals are also generally offered at 20% to 90% off and are sourced from over 900 of eBay's trusted sellers. These sellers include both smaller merchants looking to grow their customer base as well as major consumer brands. At any time, eBay says there are tens of thousands of items offered through the deals site, with featured deals updating at least once per day beginning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And my experience has been it's usually really huge volume sellers, and it's stuff that the majority of us wouldn't sell anyhow. I've bought like cell phone cords and stuff through the eBay deals before, so I don't think it's really that big a deal. The title of the article, you know, eBay will now match Amazon, Walmart, blah blah blah, on over 50,000. Yeah, is a little sensationalistic, but when you read it, in reality, I don't think it's that big a deal.
What's the target market, you figure? Is that more for like the younger crowd, or
the Amazon crowd?
The Amazon crowd. I mean, if it's only on new, you know, whatever. Trying to remember how to get the deals. Go to your homepage and there's a little thing and then it shows deals. Like right now it's Oakley Madman polarized sunglasses. Normally $400, 81% off for $74.99. Here's a radar detector. Here's a 1 ounce gold bar. I mean, a set of Samsonite luggage, an Apple MacBook, a brand new Xbox One, you know, some jumper cables, brand new jumper cable. I mean, it just doesn't, I don't know. For me personally, it's not really gonna, if anything, and it's gonna bring more people to eBay, which is gonna help all of us in the long run. It's kind of like doing these videos, you know, the whole, you know, I've heard a lot of people say, doing videos just ruins the market, blah, blah, blah. No, teaching people how the right way to do this business helps my business. It ultimately helps me in the end. Doing these shows in the morning, teaching people, hey, don't do that, whatever. The better eBay can be, the more people that'll shop there and the more we all win.
Yeah. And you teach yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll pull something off the truck for one of those little stupid videos, and I'll look at it, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? You know? And then sometimes like, oh yeah, I guess this was really a home run. I mean, it's like it recaps it, and I don't know, you teach yourself.
You're always constantly learning stuff all the time. I mean, I just had that recent buy, and we were pulling stuff out last night, and I was like, I was about to toss it, and you know, Eric was like, no, wait. And it was like a friggin' watch. It was worth a couple $100. I swear to God, it looked like a $10 crappiest watch you ever seen.
It was a G-Shock. It was one of the, you know, if you don't mind me telling, it was a white G-Shock, and they don't look real fancy.
Yeah, I thought it was like total. It was like, it felt like Swatch quality, but modern. It was all like that plasticky band and stuff. I don't know.
I think some swatches do good too.
Well,
I know that in a lot.
That I know now. You know, the plastic band in a modern watch was what made me think it was worth shit, you know.
Well, like 1960s action figure toys. I mean, they don't, you know, when you look at this dirty, you know, G.I. Joe looking thing, you think, well, this thing ain't worth nothing. You better look it up before you toss it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, or those Mego action figures.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when I was a kid, well, because I was born in the 60s, but when I was a kid, you went over to some kid's house to play, and they had these Mego action figures. You're like, oh, trash. This kid's parents won't buy him the good toys. Mego, you look down on it. It was like when a girl who had real Barbie dolls versus like those plastic blow mold Barbie dolls, those knockoffs or whatever that really crummy. That's what the Mego was. Everybody looked like, oh yeah, that's junk, and now it does well. You know?
Yeah. True.
Here's I was reading a little bit more about the price match guarantee on eBay. To be eligible, the item should be available on Amazon.com, BestBuy.com, Walmart, Home Depot, Target, Sears.com. All these are .coms. Wayfair.com or Jet.com. Found it for less. Here's what you do. Before you buy it, contact eBay customer service to request a price match. Let customer service know where you found the lower price. We'll verify the price match on the spot. Once it's verified, you get an immediate eBay coupon for the difference. Happy shopping.
And it's by phone. You have to call. It's not even like a web friendly. A lot of people don't like to call into stuff now. You know, they like to do stuff by email, or they don't want to FaceTime with a customer service person.
Yeah, when I click it, the only contact option is call us. Yeah,
I mean, I don't see that. That's going to go over like it's not going to go over.
Yeah,
it's going over like it ain't going.
I think they know it. I think they know it's not going to go over. I think it's just it's a kind of
maybe it's something for sellers. Like, oh yeah, see, we're trying. So
yeah, I think it's more promotional. I don't think eBay believes it's going to work.
Please, eBay calls me all the time. I don't even pick up the phone. Anytime I see that Utah number, I'm like, skip.
Well, they always want to give me to do that thing where I put like for your website, you promote your stuff on eBay, eBay Partner Network. I don't have a website. Quit bothering me, okay? And when the person calls, I don't think this is discriminatory, but I don't care where you're from. If I can't understand, if you don't have a good command of the English language, why are they putting you on a phone bank? I don't get it.
They're like, Mr. Jim, can we have your website address? And you're like, yes, redtube.com / Tijuana Donkey Adventure.
Yeah. / horse milkmaid.
Oh,
I can see Tarly a little pale on a stage like in The Godfather when they're down in Cuba. when they, I could see her coming out on stage with a little galvanized pail, and her hair up in one of those little kerchiefs or whatever, the little milkmaid outfit, and this horse on the stage.
What the hell are you?
All right. Tara, place Jim, Tara.
Okay.
We've had enough.
Dusty's speechless.
It's time for Tara to come back.
Oh, Valerie's fingers hovering over the button. Ejecting.
Okay, guys, that's the show today. Click.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
Oh man.
Now she's got a voice, and we can actually hear her when she says it. We don't just keep talking.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
No more surprises.
Off topic.
I don't even know what topic that was, to be honest with you.
Well, no, he keeps talking about this. I just think of that thing, it's this is Godfather. Anyway.
I thought my mind drifted. Jeez. That was like Jim's Happy Gilmore dream.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna go, you naughty penguin.
Okay.
Who's better? It gets the hair clean. No, conditioner is better. It makes the hair soft.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh no, that's not the wrong movie. That's Billy Madison.
So somebody in the audience, please pick a topic.
Yes. Yes.
Price is wrong, Bob.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing today? Are you listing? Are you going to find something to get into? What are you doing today? Jason, you going to work, or are you staying home, or?
I am taking a friggin' day off because I've had 2 days on the road and I'm tired. It was a total of 2 hours each way, so that's 8 hours, and then 4 hours of packing, and then an hour of unloading, and I need a day off.
There you go.
And by day off, it means I'll be sitting here listing in my office.
Well, at least you'll be home.
Yeah, exactly. Nice, quiet, relaxful day.
That's right. That is right.
I don't want to know what Jim's doing today. How about you, Dusty? What are you up to?
I thought you meant the other Jim.
They have one part number on it.
They're set.
They're
Yeah.
set.
I've got. I really need to work on these Fontanini Village.
What the hell was it?
Emergency broadcast. Tornadoes in Kansas.
Anybody else hear that?
Yeah.
Apparently, Valerie can't go that far away from her computer or something. I don't know.
No, apparently I can't.
So yeah, I need to list stuff today. I don't know.
Well, you sound motivated.
Well, tomorrow we've got some more room. We've got to really swap the room stuff. It's like all hands on deck doing the room swap thing tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So tomorrow is going to be a little bit more full agenda. So I've got a chance today. If I get the stupid village stuff listed, I can get it up on a shelf somewhere, and it clears out about a 3x3 foot space in here.
Oh, well, that'd make a difference, yeah.
I need to start on comic books. It was fun.
What's that on the floor?
Huh?
Looks like books. What is that on the floor? Magazines?
Comic books.
Oh, those are the comic books.
Thought about just taking them to the local comic book store, throwing them in a tote, taking them down there, letting them flip through them. I know they're going to not pay me, top dollar or whatever, but just get some money out of them, and be like, what do you just give me for all of them?
As long as you're not into them for a lot, why not?
Not for a ton. I sold a few to another reseller. I listed a few. I've made my money back off other stuff in the load. I've really made all my money back. So kind of technically at this point, I don't really have anything in them.
when we did flea markets, we'd buy like go to an auction and buy like I don't know, hundreds of comic books, and we'd put them out at the flea market. We'd start them at $15. People would look through and people would snap them up because I don't know what the hell comic books are worth. And this guy'd come up with a handful of comic books, $15 a snap. Well, of course, you don't sell them all because some of them ain't worth that much. Then the next week, we drop them a couple bucks, and we do that every week. We drop them a couple bucks till they were down to $1 a comic. And then when they quit selling at $1 a comic, we'd just put them together as a lot. But yeah, we do good on it that way. For knowing nothing, absolutely nothing about it. Never looked up a single one. Never did any research or.
That's right.
Now, I did have another local reseller here ask me if I wanted to go set up at a flea market that's about, 45 minutes from here and share a booth or whatever over Memorial Day. Kind of toying with it. I mean, comics, yeah, like you said, I had something like that I could do really good with. And it'd be cash money and just blow them out and be done with it. I could literally load up the flatbed with crap from the warehouse and throw a couple tables on there and probably do really well. I just don't want that.
Unless they're like, what, 25 cents and under is when you should really start, concentrating on them?
What?
What's the value as far as, isn't there like a certain dollar amount that the comics value was at that time?
I mean, in the early 80s, prices kind of changed from 25-cent comics to about 35-ish. Don't quote me on those exact dates and prices. So you can generally get a good idea for the age of a comic based on the cover price, with other exceptions and other,
So anything like under 25 cents is probably worth looking at. It would be $3.80.
Maybe.
It's kind of like the whole adage of, if you're not familiar with video games, as a general rule, you can skip over most sports titles. It's a good basic rule if you're not familiar with that particular market, but it's not that there's lots of exceptions to the rules. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like stamps.
There's lots of like number ones of even probably modern ones that are probably good.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're unfamiliar and you have a really good chance, like video games, if I had a really good chance to buy a whole bunch of video games, I mean, first of all, I have enough connections like y'all that sell, I'm so itchy this morning, that sell video games and stuff like that I could just probably send a picture of the spines of all the video games to like Brock Parts and be like, hey, anything good here? But if I was off by myself, whatever, and the guy's like, hey, I have 50 PlayStation games for $50. If they're majority sports titles, I kind of know in my mind they're not going to be worth as much. You know what I mean? Or I would base my total crapshoot without looking them all up. I'd base my total crapshoot on, are they more sports titles than non-sport? It's that kind of same thing with comics. When I bought these comics, I could tell kind of the age of them based on the, of course you can look inside the first page too, a lot of times to see a copyright, but you can kind of tell the age based on the cover price. And so I knew, wow, these are more late 70s than they are, 90s for sure.
Yeah, I have a tub of comics that have been sitting here for like 2 years because I just don't want to get into it. I know a lot of it, like when you're listing, you have to like put down condition and you have to be pretty spot on with that kind of shit. So
I just put, there's usually, I think in the comics category, there's a certification drop-down tab. I put uncertified. There's a grade tab. I pick ungraded. And then I put a generic blurb of, I don't collect comics. Please let the pictures be your guide. And I make sure I show, they always want to know about the spine, or if there's any rust on the staples or whatever, and I open it up and show, they can see if the pages are still white or if there's, kind of yellowed or brown.
Right, rust on the staples, that's a good thing to know.
Even then, I kind of still hate selling them, but.
Well, now I got all these fucking records. I mean, I'm going to pull some out and sell them, but now I have to figure out conditions.
And that's the other thing is records, too.
I think it's somewhere in the lines of 1,400 records, and I don't even have a fucking record player.
Ouch.
What are they, like, what genres and stuff primarily, or is it all over the board?
It's mostly rap and disco and dance.
So it's like club,
yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of old stuff there, too, like, Motown, funk kind of stuff from, like, the 70s.
You need a record player now.
Yeah, I know. I definitely want to listen to some of this stuff.
I was waiting for you to talk about like how you did with the storage unit, and I was didn't want to steal your thunder. I mean, you did really good, right?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a great buy. You know, there ended up being about what was it? There's almost 200 Blu-rays still sealed.
Jeez, I missed that part.
Yeah, you missed that. There's a couple of thousand just in clothing, and between jerseys, hats, and you know, higher end apparel type stuff. What else was there? Well, the records. Yeah, there was 14 crates of records, about almost 100 in each crate. About.
How many pairs of shoes total in the box?
I'm still unpacking one more thing, but I believe I have on the counter 100 in the box. So there's maybe up to as much as 110 all in the boxes. And we looked up about 6 or 8 of them, and not one dipped below the $100 mark. So, I mean, you know, it was an exceptionally good day. And, you know, a lot of other miscellaneous little things here and there.
So is the vinyl still sealed, or are they played records?
Most are played. There are some sealed. I pulled out one when I was going over a few, and it was a Jimi Hendrix concert, and it was sealed, and that one was like, I think 30 or 40 bucks alone.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, lots of interesting stuff in the records. I mean, a lot of stuff I haven't heard of, and I'm pretty familiar with, you know.
Dude, you're like an old school rap guy, too. Remember that day when we were in a hangout and I was playing all these old songs, and you're like, oh, that's so-and-so. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, these titles were like, you know, early stuff. I mean,
remember Houdini?
Houdini.
They did that. I'm a hoe, you know, I'm a hoe. And I remember when that came out, and I think it was like the mid-late 80s. It was like, oh yeah, that's the coolest. Oh, that's rap songs. Rap isn't that bad. This Houdini's pretty good. And now you listen, it's like one of those keyboards where they set the automatic like beep boop bop bop. You know, that repetitive background music. And it just goes, those guys like talking on top of it. It's like, oh my god, this is so lame. Back in the day when it first came out, it was really something.
Oh, you know what was great? I pulled out one record. I'm totally keeping it. It was Breaking.
Oh yeah.
Movie.
And then there was Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, well, weren't those the ones with Ozone and Turbo, if I remember right?
I think so. Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I'm gonna have so much fun going through some of those records. I got to keep some of those. So I need a record player now.
Yep.
They make them with you just plug a USB into your computer, and you can the turntable will play right through your computer.
Yeah, I think my father actually has one.
I've got one of the Crosley reproductions that has cassette on the side, CD on the front, AM, FM, and then you open it up, and it's nice, you know, retro-ish looking. So you could stick it in your living room, and it wouldn't stick out like a sore thumb. And then it's got an input for auxiliary. I think that one might have a USB out. I can't remember. And I keep a little bit of vinyl. Sometimes I like to throw a record on.
Yeah, I think one of the other resellers recently put a video out on something about vinyls like starting to go back up in price or something.
Global Voodoo does a lot with vinyl.
Oh, it was him actually. Yeah. It was a recent video he did. I guess I'll go back and watch it.
I mean,
my thing on played vinyl is, you know, is there going to be pops or anything in the, you know, for grading it? That just worries me so much.
I know. Well, I'm only going to pull out the ones that are worth some decent scratch.
Yeah.
And
they're like
a lot. There's a lot. What?
Go ahead. I was going to say 99% of stamps are trash, but you're going to have that 1% of stamps that are, you know, out to the moon, you know.
There's a lot of like promo 33 records that have just one song that, like, apparently from like radio stations get and stuff like that. So that should be interesting to look up.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting.
I say global voodoo. Every album before I listen. Well, you more time.
That's what's scary. Yeah, Tar was just reading a thing where it says Global Voodoo listens to every
Don't disrespect the voodoo.
listens to every album. I mean, you almost have to, because when you get it to the buyer, I mean, you should know what you're selling to your buyer. You know.
Well, yeah, because a scratch is, you know, detrimental.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I'll be listening sneakers and listening to rap all.
I'm a hoe.
Yeah, I've got to go do a couple of errands, and then I'm gonna come. The plan is to come home and list today. So.
Oh yeah, what were you doing today, Val?
I just thought I'd throw that in there since nobody
Asked. Sorry.
nobody asked.
Don't ask for Valerie. You guys are jerks.
I was waiting very patiently, and then it's like, well, I guess nobody's gonna. So I'm gonna, yeah. I gotta go do a couple of errands, and then I'm gonna come home and do some listing. That's my plan.
The date's almost over. Let's spend 5 minutes just talking about you. I've been talking about me for the last 5 hours.
I'm okay, you guys. I'm all right. Yes, chicken fried steak. I finally got it. It's finally working, so I'm glad that y'all can hear me too. That sounds completely like I'm full of myself, but like I was saying yesterday, if you have a crappy sounding video, you're not going to really want to listen to that. So I want to, and as I was listening a couple of nights ago, I was listening to the, some of the videos, and they're pretty crappy sound. And I thought, well, that's not gonna work. So
what was
thanks,
the problem?
TJ. I don't know, but I hooked it up here and finally got it working last night, and everybody says that I sound better than what I have. So that's
you
good.
sound great.
I don't. At least I don't have that scratchy voice like I normally do.
You either have the scratchy voice or your sound wasn't louder than everyone else.
So I'm just glad. I'm happy.
Show us your happy face. There we go.
There you go. You got your smile for the day. Mr. Say says, hurry up. She's getting ready to kill the show. No, I'm not. Got 30 minutes. I try to go to 10 o'clock. That's usually my cutoff time. So, morning, Shantae. I need to list unmotivated too. I know. I don't know what turned out to be the sound issue, but again, I'm not very technical, so I couldn't tell you. Don't know.
Oh my gosh.
The Snoopy dance. I don't know that I know that one. I don't think, probably not. I used to know all the little dances when the girls were teenagers, but no, don't know those no more.
Dance.
The what?
Remember the Humpty dance?
Yep. I do know that one.
Tara says, "Do you remember the cabbage roll?" I don't remember that one.
Isn't that where they go like this? What do they call it? The cabbage roll?
Oh, maybe.
I think you got the Chinese place.
The Snoopy dance is where Snoopy and the Peanuts, he puts his head way up, and then it's like his feet are going around. Have you ever seen it?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I think that's the Snoopy dance.
Okay.
Unless kids are talking about the modern Snoop Dogg character. I don't know what kids are into these days.
Me neither.
Oh, I just remembered in those records there were a lot of like early Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5. I wonder if those are worth anything.
Oh wow.
Oh
like
yeah.
Ben.
Oh really?
No, remember Ben when Michael Jackson was a little kid? He sang that song Ben for that Rat movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Anyway, that's the only Michael Jackson song I like.
The only one.
Nah, I'm not into Michael Jackson at all.
Oh.
Never got it. Even when he was super hot, I'd just be like, my jaw would just drop. My friends would be like, "Oh yeah, I bought a Michael Jackson." I'm like, "What?" All right. I'm gonna go back and listen to Molly Hatchet, but you go jam out to that Michael Jackson.
Molly Hatchet. Oh my God.
Mother's mustache says, "Do the hustle." Yep.
I did buy Saturday Night Fever. I was a kid. But by the time Michael Jackson got hot, I was already past. I was past my Bee Gees phase.
Were you listening to old time country in high school or no?
I listened to a lot of old time country because that's all my dad listened to.
Yeah.
And, Merle Haggard and that kind of stuff.
Yep. Conway 20.
Oh yeah. Oh well, you gotta love Conway.
Yep.
It's just a given. Everybody loves Conway, don't they?
True enough. Loretta Lynn.
I love you, Conway.
Yeah.
You used to tour in the Tweety Bird, his big bus.
Did you see Conway?
No.
He wasn't at home.
No, my wife wanted to. My wife and I were supposed to go see Conway Twitty, and her sister wanted to go really bad. So I said, take your sister." So those, I never got to see Conway live.
Aw.
Yeah. Oh well, memories. This is the DVD player out of that. It's a DVD player and recorder. I don't know if you can see. I mean, it's about as thick as a pencil.
Yeah.
When I pulled it out, because I have this huge. This server is like, I don't know, 2.5 feet long, about 2.5 feet long by about, I don't know, 1.5 feet wide, and weighs about 40, 50 pounds. I mean, things. I got this gigantor server, and its DVD player is wafer thin. I mean, it must be the type that goes into a laptop or something. I'm used to working with stuff this tiny.
Crazy. Yep. George Jones, Merle Haggard, and Waylon and Willie. Yep.
There's a guy from real old time, Ernest Tubbs.
Uh-huh.
I get a call at the real estate office it was probably in the mid '90s. I get this call, and this lady's talking about moving from Kentucky or Tennessee to Wisconsin, and at some point she says, "Yeah, my name's whatever Tubbs." I said, "Oh, okay." She goes, "Well, you know who I'm related to?" And I'm like, "Who?" She goes, "Well, Ernest Tubbs is my father." I'm like, "Who's Ernest Tubbs?" Oh my God, it just blew up. "You don't even know who Ernest Tubbs is, blah, blah, blah." Tells me for minutes, and a rant just hangs up on me. So then I had to go around asking, "Who the hell's Ernest Tubbs?" They're like, "Oh no, he's old time country." Like,
Starts whipping you with the hose.
She didn't appreciate that. She didn't tell her nothing.
You don't have to call me darling. Darling. Who typed that?
Even Alan.
It's stuck in my head all day.
Oh my gosh. Dusty, just go on YouTube and just run your Dave Allen Co. videos. You'll get a real education. Tara, there should be a screwdriver. Yeah, he's really outlaw country.
Crockett and Tubbs.
Miami Vice.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on just a second.
Saw Mickey Gilly.
Oh, really?
Remember when we saw him live, and his concert was so bad, he had a lot of backup singers, that most of the crowd left, but I wouldn't leave. Even Jim tried to leave, but I'm like, no, he was an urban cowboy. We have to sit through it all.
Did Jim throw his bra on stage?
No, he was like heckling. He's like going, he's a Branson robot. Jim is drunk off his ass. He's going, he's a Branson robot. He's a Branson robot. Yeah. With the
yeah, was that Mickey? Well, because he's an elderly gentleman, and he's got a lot of his backup people are doing a lot of the stuff for him, you know. So I'm like, you know, he's turned into a Branson robot.
And
he
kept pitching his Branson show.
It
was like every other song he's doing an infomercial for come to Branson to his theater or whatever.
Yeah, it was more like an infomercial than a performance. So, and you know, it's a carry-in concert. You can carry in your own liquor, so you can see where this went.
Yeah, there was a lot of debauchery. So.
Yeah. It was an outdoor venue. You carry in your own liquor. It's as bad as you can as you're imagining.
And this is the year I'm pregnant, so I get there in the morning or whatever. It's probably about 11 o'clock. Jim's already drunk off his ass. He's got this 22-year-old that he's doing these arm curls with. Him and this other young buck that was probably about 25 at the time. So he goes to the other young guy. He's like, come on. She's like, I can't lift her. He's like, come on. She's already self-conscious about her weight. Just man up and do it. The girl's standing like 12 inches from Jim when he's saying this. I'm like, oh, that really helped her self-confidence.
Wow.
I might have done that moment different.
I'm pregnant when I walk in. Yes, he has no shirt on while he's arm curling 22-year-old.
They got this stuff called Zombie. It comes in a 1.75-liter plastic bottle, and I put it in one of those fish bowls you get at Walmart. It looks like a brandy snifter, but it's a fish bowl.
Like a tip.
So I threw ice in there, like a tip glass. I throw ice in there, and I throw this whole 1.75 Zombie in there. Well, of course, the ice melts after about half an hour. It's 95 degrees, but I drank it all. Oh man! Oh,
are you talking about like one of those bowls that you'd have in the 70s that you put your keys in?
Yeah, it's a brandy snifter, but it's like this tall. It's like like a foot tall by about 10 inches in diameter. It's this huge. It holds like over a gallon. Yeah, that's why I put that 1.75 Zombie premix into it. Oh man! And then I poured that into my guts and destroyed myself.
Yeah, when I got there, when he's doing this, I mean, he's just drunk off his ass, and it's like 11 in the morning. So, and they stay up till like 1 in the morning partying. So, I mean, he was pretty bad by the end of the day.
Oh wow! The processors don't even have pins. Never saw that before. Boy, I must have not taken a computer apart in a long time. Yeah, the processors are just little dimples. There's not even pins. There's no more pins that stick into the socket anymore.
Wait, let me see.
Were they held in by like two clamps on either side?
Yeah, 2 clamps on the top. Press them. They're pressure fit.
Yeah.
Those are the kind you never take out, Jim. You destroyed it. That's kind of cool. It's a thing called Hodag. It's Hodag Country Fest. Is a thing, and it's in a town that's like 25 miles from here. And I would go after I got divorced. I went there every year, and now I don't go there anymore. Now that I'm married again, I again don't go there anymore.
Well, we have a kid. What will we do with a kid while you're getting drunk?
I don't know.
That'd be fun.
Teach him stuff. This is how you hunt the ladies, son.
Tell him the boob story.
Which boob story?
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm not telling that.
Okay.
I don't tell stories like that about women I'm currently married to. I have standards.
Oh my, who knew? Who knew?
When did that start?
I know. That started just now, I guess.
It's not that bad of a story, really.
It was pretty bad.
No, it's not.
Well, if you're the husband, it wasn't. You remember we were seriously dating.
No, we weren't. It was like the first year we were seeing each other.
Oh.
Let's keep it.
Once I put my babies in you, you gotta straighten up.
Straighten up.
She goes, okay, long story. This is the abridged clean version. My brother has a tiff with his spouse, okay, which is going to happen when you have, like I say, this venue where you're carrying your liquor. That's a horrible idea. Well, anyway,
everybody's drunk off there.
Everybody's just plowed. So my brother gets in a heated discussion with his spouse. So I got to go talk to him, calm him down or whatever. And then he decides he wants to go to my mom and dad's house, which is in Eagle River, which is like, 20 miles from us or whatever. So at this point, I'm not bad or whatever. So I drive him home because I've been walking around with him for like 2 hours. Anyway, so I drive him home, or drive him to my mom and dad's, come back to the thing. Well, meanwhile, Tara's been hitting the carry-in or whatever. And she's got this magic marker. I can see she's wearing a tank top. I can see this. She's got this magic marker on her front. And I'm like, what is that? Well, here's somebody drew a smiley face.
No, they signed it.
Yeah, no, it was a smiley face. It had two eyes over the nipple, and then underneath the smiley face. Underneath, I'm like, she goes, I'm like, what are you doing, flashing people? She goes, no. This guy he took the marker and just he wanted to.
He shoved it down my shirt.
He wanted to sign me, and then I'm like, well, how do you do the smiley face underneath? She's like, oh, well, he just was to push the marker down there and did that. I'm like, there is no way he did that with your top down.
I did not have my top down. I held my hand to hold my top off.
Yeah, so she's got the smiley face with the nipple for her nose, and I'm supposed to believe the story. But anyway, we made it through. We're still together.
Hey, you were arm curling girl.
It's like Shania Twain and Mutt Lange. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, well that wasn't the same day I was arm curling.
No, but I was pregnant when you were doing that.
Oh, that's
so
true.
That should make you feel bad.
Okay, we're even. Yes, dear.
Too funny. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Can you hear me?
You're welcome.
Yep.
Okay. My camera, I had to unplug it and plug it back in. It started acting funky again.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it does it every couple of days, and I have to reboot the whole computer. I've tried different USB ports. I don't know what. I just end up rebooting my computer or unplugging the camera.
Oh, wow. That's done right.
I'm going to have to rewind and listen to that story because I was in the middle of reading something.
It's not a good
Aww.
Yeah, you'll have to go back and listen to that one.
It's not a very good story. It's boring.
Oh, well, okay. And the guy's in the trunk of his, she says, okay, because she was walking.
He was in the trunk of his car. He was one of your
neighbors. Do you want to switch over? Okay.
Why did you have a girl in the trunk of your car?
No, it was this guy was digging in. He says, hey, come here. I want to sign you. So she walks over to him, and her story is he signs her in this tank top, but just he does a smiley face, like I, and then a smiley face underneath. Well, because the nipple's the nose. Okay, so she's like, oh no, he just put the marker down my shirt. I'm looking at it, it's a perfect smiley face. I'm like, that can't happen.
It is my parents' way.
Anyway, so then she says the guy turns around, starts digging in the trunk of his car.
He wanted me to sign something, and I ran away.
Because you got these campsites next to where the band's playing. Well, where my motorhome's there, so we're camping there. She's walking back to the camper, so she's in a dark area of like campers at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning with this guy signing her. Then he goes, oh no, wait, I want you to sign me. I want you to sign me. He starts digging in his trunk. So then she said she ran.
I ran away.
She ran away.
Come here, I want to show you something in the trunk. I want to show you something in the trunk of my car.
It could have been worse, Jim. It could have been a sad face.
Come over to my panel.
Talk to him in the daylight. He wasn't like he was
It's way in the back of the panel van. Keep going back. Yeah.
So was this a famous person?
No, it's just a guy that was there.
Just
a
guy
that was signing boobs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Smiley face. Anyway.
Crazy times.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore.
Meanwhile, this was like 6 months ago.
We don't do it any less either.
Oh my gosh.
That was when I was in my 30s. That was much more irresponsible.
Yep. Mother's mustache says, "Oh my God, why am I even going to say this? I did too, Val. Metallica."
Oh.
All right.
All right.
Hey, that's what you got to do. Sometimes you just have to have fun. Val and Mother. Yep. No.
I had Tony Orlando carried me around when I was a little girl, but I never had anybody.
Well, you got to tell that story up to the thing.
What, Tony Orlando?
The Tony Orlando story. That's actually a good one.
I'm 5 years old. My mom gets tickets to the Tony Orlando concert. So she takes me with, I'm about 5, my grandmother and her. And what's that song he sings? Save All Your Kisses?
Save All Your Kisses for Me.
He walks down the aisle. I'm like, that's why I have the fear of guys with fluffy hair. Because he walks down the aisle, he's like looking at me. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope this guy ain't going to like touch me or something. So I was kind of a shy kid. He picks me up. And he's singing this song to me. I'm 5 years old. He's walking in the aisle singing this to me. So he goes to set me down, but now there's a different woman that was in our area that wants to get close to him. So she grabs me like I'm her child so that she could like kiss on Tony Orlando. And my grandmother starts freaking out and yelling at the lady because she thinks the lady's like trying to kidnap me or something.
Oh my God.
If you're watching Tony Orlando, I apologize.
It was in Milwaukee, if you remember it. But anyway,
oh my
I
God.
don't like mustaches or guys with fluffy hair.
Oh, man. I'm sure we all will have some very good stories, Grandma Magic Classics. We'll have to just share all that stuff. I was pretty crazy because I got married young, and so I didn't really get a whole lot of, going out and partying. But after my divorce, then it was all bets were off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jim went through that too after his first divorce.
Yeah.
I mean, you should avoid it if you can. I mean, obviously you shouldn't go out looking to get divorced, but man, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Just say that.
Oh, I mean, I had a heck of a time. I just had, I had a blast.
If you wonder why divorce is so expensive, it's because it's worth it.
Hope someone's learning.
Oh, my God.
All this. I didn't realize you were married twice, Val.
Yeah. Yeah, I got married when I was 16.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. I was married at 16. I was with him for 17 years, and then we got divorced, and I think I was 30, 36, 37. So...
The weird thing is, though, when you go back out into circulation, when you're like, that's what I was about. I think I was about 36 when I went through my divorce. I was married 14 years. Not my choice. And not that I'm not saying that I was a better person, but I'm just saying, you're not prepared for it. I wasn't like, I never thought I was going to date another girl ever in my life again or whatever. But,
Right.
You're back out in circulation. Well, you start like, going to hangouts or whatever. And then you realize these people, these younger people, they look at you like your father time, or, they look at you like you're ancient, It's like,
Right,
wow, I'm
right.
only not a million years old. Now, I'd be like, oh my God.
the old guy.
Get away from me, Father Time.
But you find 20-year-olds.
Well, when you go out though, that's what you see a lot. Well, the place I was going to, there were a lot of girls in their
12-year-olds. What are you, Chuck E. Cheese again?
Yeah. Chuck E. Cheese, you know, the school parking lot, you know.
Remember that time?
Oh my gosh.
Did you find out they were like graduating high school?
Oh man. Okay.
We can't say that story.
Okay. I'll tell, this is a quick one, but anyway, we had this wet t-shirt contest at this bar I was bartending at, okay? And my boss is like, you know, well, you got to organize this. You got to organize this. I'm like, I don't know anything about this. Like, I'm the producer or something. So he planned this thing like for a month. Well, it turns out to be a huge success because I asked him at the end of the night, I said, did you have a good night? He's like, it was my best night. I go, best night this summer? He goes, it was my best night in business. I've never had a night like this. We had cars. I mean, I don't know how many thousands of people we had. We could only get 5 girls to do it because we had a whole bunch of them that were signed up. And of course, when the night came, they chickened out. Well, here's how it goes. They walk up to the stage. My boss is doing the DJ. They walk up, and the first girl's like, I hand her the pitcher of ice water. She goes, what are you doing? I'm like, I think you're supposed to pour this on front of your shirt. She goes, yeah, I know I'm supposed to be on the front of my shirt because you're supposed to do it. I'm like, oh, okay. So she puts her arms up like this. So then I pour the water on her real gingerly. She goes like, more water. I'm like, okay. And then she goes, well, what are you doing? She still got her arms up. She goes, what are you doing? I'm like, what? She goes, you got to form it around me. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Okay. So I form it around. She goes, okay, thanks. Then she goes up to do her dance. I'm like, well, this ain't going to happen again. The next girl walks up, looks me in the eye, arms go straight up. She's right on it. I'm like, I go, this is my new awesome job. So anyway, I wore what t-shirt.
This is why I like bartending.
Yeah. So, anyway, so what the hell was the point of the story? All these camp girls. Okay, the ones who won the contest. Okay, so these girls get up there and dance. Well, these 2 girls get up there and dance together. They start dancing together. They're from this ethnic camp, or you know that these girls start. They take their tops off, of course, and next thing you know, they're kissing. They're embracing, squished together, all wet, you know, kissing. I mean, this is a crowd of probably, you know, 85% guys. I mean, the crowd is wild for these 2 girls up there. So the night's over. I don't know. A few weeks later, I'm like, hey, where's so-and-so and so-and-so? They're like, oh, they went home. They had to do clothes shopping for back to school. I go, oh, okay. So what year are they at? I mean, what year in college are they at? They go, oh, well, they're just going. This is their first time. They're just going to college now. I thought they were 21. I'm like,
Shit.
so
I thought he was going to say high school.
I'm like, tell me these girls were 18. And these other girls, these other camp counselor girls just get this blank look. I'm like, oh my God. Anyhow, so we avoided incarceration, so everybody won.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. Good stories today.
That's how we do it.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're a small town with no law enforcement.
Oh. Yeah, everybody's hush hush, and we won't do that again.
Yeah.
Well, you did have the cops come in that one time. Was she?
I had a girl dancing on the bar.
Nude.
Well, she worked at Hooters, so she was over 18. I had this girl dancing on the bar. It's a normal night, like a Friday or Saturday night. I got a girl dancing on the bar, and she takes her top off, and nobody's complaining, so whatever, I let it go. So, and I'm observing. So anyway, all of a sudden, I'm at the corner of the bar, and I see this flashing light in the side of my eye. And I'm like, who is this idiot taking flash pictures or whatever? I turn over. It's a guy with the sheriff on his thing with the bulletproof vest and stuff. He's flashing his light in my face to get my attention. He comes up and he says, hey, I heard you got underage people in this bar. And I said, hey, I got somebody at the door carding. I said, we ain't got nobody underage. He goes, you mind if I check? I said, you go ahead and check whatever you want. Meanwhile, I got this girl. She's still dancing to pour some sugar on me up on the bar. Oblivious. So they're checking IDs or whatever. Everybody's clean. And so he leaves. Well, meanwhile, this drunk girl steps down off the bar or whatever, and then the bar owner's daughter comes up to me. She goes, yeah, that was a close one. I'm like, why was it close? She goes, she's underage.
Oh shit!
And I thought he'd get in trouble for her being topless. The guy never said nothing about that. He just checked everybody's. And here I didn't realize the girl up there was the only one in the bar that wasn't of age, because it was a bar owner's daughter's friend. So,
She probably didn't
Oh
have
my
any clothes
God.
on to have any ID on her. That's probably why.
yeah, always charged the stripper.
Oh,
Anyhow, yeah,
Good
that was a fun
stories.
job when I liked it. I mean, before I was married, it was a fun job. I don't. Were we married by the time I quit, or we just?
No, we were just seeing each other.
Okay.
Well, we met each other there. So.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. When you're in a relationship, it's a hard job, and that kind of bar. You know, it's not like a supper club where you're making ice cream drinks or something. It's a shot bar, and it gets a little rough. There's fights.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I could just imagine. Yeah, I got lots of stories. Lots of stories.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times. Good times.
I wonder how you survive.
Tracy Atkinson says, Usher, you can find love in the club.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
50 cent or whatever. It's your birth. It's not your birthday or whatever.
Oh yeah, when we were going out, I mean
That was a big song. Yeah, that would be in the bar all the time. Hey, Shorty, it's your birthday. We don't care if it's your birthday.
Yeah, and then it came up to, you know, I had to realize that I was too old for some of that shit.
Yeah.
But I couldn't hang with the teeny boppers, you know. Couldn't do it.
When you're young, it's can he dance? When you get a little older, it's can he hold a job?
It's so true. Oh my gosh.
If I have kids with this guy, can he support them?
Yeah.
Maureen.
That's good, Maureen. She says she's going to the flea market this weekend. That's awesome.
And then, you see your comment after that?
Yeah, I do. Sweaty balls.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Just thought I'd throw it out there. Yeah, you know, when I lived in California, it's a flea market that's every single weekend. And I think I want to say it's every Saturday and Sunday, but it may just be every Saturday. But it was didn't matter what day of the week, you know, what was going on or anything like that. It was definitely, yeah. But then it got to be a lot of, you know, there was just a lot of like Chinese or Japanese or whatever, you know, stuff, and just the new cheap stuff, basically.
Cheap Chinese stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, we started. It was like with the pickers, you know, because they would always you got that Frank Fritz will always negotiate or whatever. It got to be with us. I mean, everything was negotiated. I mean, they do. You know, we had to raise our prices so these people could negotiate down. It was ridiculous. You know, as a seller, because we price this stuff fair and we price it to move, but then they still feel they're no longer getting honest value. Like if I price something that's worth $5 for $3 so I can flip it, don't offer me $2. You know,
Right. Right.
But,
exactly.
And don't tell me that's all the money you have on you.
Oh my God, yeah.
Or in 2 different pockets. That's all I do.
Yeah. Or they tell you that they're, you know, they break you down, you know, you sell them the $3 item for $2 or whatever, and then they pull out, ask if you can break a 20. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Dusty, this motherboard, yeah, it's $400.
He's gone.
Oh wow.
But I was going to sell the whole server for $400. just the motherboard's $400, and the memory sticks I got for $45 a snap, and this one had a dozen $45 memory sticks in it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so yeah, don't sell them whole. He was right. And it's hard sold. It's not asking or anything like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Tara, can you just pick this up and set that on the back of the couch right there? Just here, hold it by this blue handle. I think that's what it's for.
Set the motherboard on the back of the couch because that sounds safe.
Yeah, next to the cat.
Next to the cat.
We don't have a cat, but Dusty does, and that cat walks by that doorway about 100 times a show. It just keeps going.
That's right.
I don't know what it's up to. It's not there right now, but it's
There's two of them, and seriously, they're both like, I don't know, they're really old, and we think the one has dementia because she'll sit in front of her food bowl and meow, and then if you shake it, she'll be like, oh shit, there's food in it, and then she'll start eating. It's really bad, and they literally like kind of the kids' bedrooms are upstairs, and they kind of hang out and live up there, and then they come down here to use the litter box and eat, and then the dog usually runs them off, and they run back upstairs again. So that's what that's all about.
Hey, Dusty, new Amazon T-shirt idea. My cat has dementia.
But now we're swapping. Somebody was asking earlier the room swap. We're swapping the kids around. Windsor pretty much, okay, there you go. It's all out in the open. She pretty much doesn't live here anymore. She's 19, she works 2 jobs, whatever. So she has always had the bigger bedroom. Gabe wanted a regular bed. Hers still has a regular bed in it. So I said, okay, her bedroom's a lot bigger. Take her bed. We'll sell your bunk bed. We'll take all of her crap that's left and stick it in his little room and just close the door or whatever. So that's basically what's kind of going on. Which worked out great because he wanted to sell the bunk bed anyhow. And so when I got offered $100, I was like, done.
Yep.
I didn't even have to put it on Craigslist. Sold it to somebody I knew.
Yep.
All right, I got a question, a serious question about eBay.
Shoot.
Wrong show. Sorry.
Wrong show. So I have a customer that bought a whole bunch of files, and there were files that were individually $15 a piece, and he did one order where he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And then he did a second order where he bought 2, and then another order where he bought 2. Now, so what I did was, and which is what I always do, I just wrapped it all together and put it in, in one, mailer, and sent it out. And I went back to just add the tracking numbers to the. I did that with the larger order. I printed the label on that one. The 2 smaller orders, I went in to add the tracking number of the first package, like I always do, and it always takes it. This time it wouldn't take it because it's part of a different order, it said.
Oh, wow.
Like, why would it do that? Because that never happens.
No, I've never seen.
Yeah, so I looked back more closely at the orders, and
different address.
Same address, 3 different emails. So it must be 3 different usernames.
Huh.
Huh.
Wow.
So is that like one of those Google sales, maybe? They all have 0 feedback. Or they all have 1 feedback, I'm sorry.
Are they funky usernames, like a random string of like those ones? Yeah, I don't know. But that's weird that it still wouldn't let you add it to it.
They all start with like a certain abbreviation of the guy's name, but then end in a bunch of
random
numbers and letters. Yeah,
that's probably a guest account.
So what do I do with these other 2 now that are in limbo that I can't add tracking numbers to? Do I just archive them and take the hit?
No, you still need to mark them as shipped.
For some reason, the way it's doing the new thing, there's no option that I saw to mark as shipped. Wait, one more second. I might have missed something.
Margot said put the tracking number in on PayPal, and it'll show up on the eBay end.
Oh.
Ah.
So go find the dollar, write down the dollar amount so you can find them easier. Go look them up on PayPal I don't know how you add tracking in there. I'm sure it's not hard to find, but
Yeah, just put in the eBay item number and you can find it. That's a good idea. I'll try that. By the way, I did find where you can now mark it as shipped. It's in the pull down menu. I didn't see that. I'm not used to this new format that they're now using.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how are you doing with the new format? Anyone like it?
Nah.
format of what? Of PayPal?
No, the new format of like the selling hub, where when it lists all your stuff, like manage all orders, and like now it gives you a time that you're supposed to ship by and everything, and
Manage all orders and the time.
I haven't seen that.
It does like Key to Do. The Key to Do app would tell you need to ship within 12 hours or 24 hours or whatever.
Right. It's not in. Yeah, it's not in just view all orders. It's in all the tabs. Like it's just the way it's done and presented to you. It's completely different now. It says I can switch back to the old version. There's a button up top, but I mean, it's okay. The only thing I find annoying about it is it doesn't give you a tally at the bottom of the page like the other one would.
Where is this at? I don't know what you're talking about.
Basically, when you do anything, when you go to my eBay and you go to anything that's gonna, if you go to awaiting shipment, if you go to anything, wherever it's gonna list transactions, that page is completely different than what it used to be.
Well, I don't have that.
Huh.
Well, I've noticed some differences. One good difference is they give you the pictures now on sold items, which I think
have a tasks thing that says read unread messages from eBay members, 234 messages.
No.
I don't know. I respond through. I've just always ignored that because I do respond every time.
I wonder if I can even customize it. Oh, Florida Hidden Treasure says it's in beta. Not all sellers have it.
Oh. So just the cool kids got it?
The cool dudes.
I feel left out.
I have a middle store.
I have a big store. I don't have it. I mean, unless it's that tasks thing. You say that's what you're talking about, or?
No, not at all.
Do you know what he's talking about?
What is it?
Oh, never mind.
I don't want it. I have a growth opportunity.
We have the Anchor store, so did they do something?
Yeah, I have the growth beta. I don't know if you
I
have
think
that.
I think we got it for listing.
Yeah, our listings are definitely different. Like when we go to list something, it's a
that the
whole
beta
different
thing?
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's
And
it.
it instantly saves everything, while you're doing it.
Yep. Yeah, see, some people are saying they have it, and some don't.
Well, I'm glad eBay's so inclusive. They don't have stars on ours.
We have,
No, you know that Dr. Seuss thing with the
Oh.
things with, it's supposed to be like, treating people different.
okay, it went over my head.
Okay.
I think the only two gripes I have with it are one is it doesn't add the totals at the bottom of the page. And the second one is I'd like a darker line to separate between the listings.
Yeah, I don't have any of that.
Oh, and another thing that it does is when a buyer leaves a message in the comments, it actually shows the whole message,
Hmm.
which isn't bad.
Yeah, it doesn't give us our totals at the bottom of the page anymore either.
Yeah, Tara's looking at ours. She says it doesn't give us totals either.
Yeah. I mean, that's annoying because sometimes I like to see, like, for example, we're just doing the files. I want to see how many files I sold this month. So I just type in keyword from the title, files, and it will pull up, you know, everything. And then at the bottom, it'll just give me the nice total. So I know in a second how much I sold, you know, that month in files. Right now, I've sold, I had to manually add it, but I sold $820 in files this month.
Nice.
Very good.
Yeah.
Where'd you get them? A storage unit?
No.
Oh.
No.
What kind of file are they? Like, what kind of files are they? Oh, they're like machine. They're machinist files.
Files, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Get it?
Oh, that's gonna be that gun case.
They're $15 a file I have them for, and I have 600 of them.
Oh.
Oh, that's 9,000 in files. Yeah.
Come on. There you go. Well, one server down. Oh.
Okay, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day.
All right.
All right, guys, I think we're going to go and wrap it up for the day. What was that?
I think it was Dusty. You have a heckler.
Oh, my.
Hit the delete.
He's probably in the kitchen making another one of those giant tomato sandwiches.
Probably.
Get on the kick button.
Mash that like button.
No, she's got a heckler. Got to kick him out.
Oh.
All right, y'all have a great weekend, and we will see y'all next time.
All right.
Bye.
Yep, take care, everyone.